Thank you. We now move to topical questions. Question 1, Liz-Smith.
To ask the Scottish Government what recent discussions it has had with the Scottish Qualifications Agency regarding contracts that the body has signed with foreign governments.
Minister Alistair Allen.
The Scottish Government is in regular contact with the Scottish Qualifications Authority on a range of issues and has recently sought clarification on the contracts signed with the Government of the Kingdom of Bahrain. We fully recognise that the SQA has for many years undertaken work in a range of countries to the benefit of the citizens in those countries.
Liz-Smith.
I thank the Minister for his answer. The Scottish Government makes the point validly that obviously the contract that was signed between SQA and Bahrain Government is not something that we would routinely be briefed to the Scottish Government. Notwithstanding that statement, could the Minister confirm whether the Scottish Government had any concerns about the second contract, which was signed between SQA and the Bahrain Government in March 2012, which post-dated Edinburgh University withdrawing from a similar contract on January the 27th, 2012, and about the context of the briefings from Bahrain campaign groups provided to the Scottish Government in April 2012.
Alistair Allen.
Well, the point which the member makes about the first contract also applies to the second, in that it was not something that would routinely be brought to ministers, and in this case was not brought to ministers, as the SQA is a body with its own board which takes its own day-to-day decisions. But I do understand that the points that have been made, and as I say, there is now ongoing dialogue with the SQA to establish more information. I should, however, point out that the Scottish Government has made very clear its concerns about human rights abuses in Bahrain. Indeed, we have said very similar things to the UK Government in that respect. We have, of course, also, like the UK Government, SQA has an educational engagement in Bahrain. The distinctive feature of the UK's engagement with Bahrain, of course, is that in 2012 it signed an agreement on defence cooperation.
Liz-Smith.
Thank you again, Minister, for that response. Obviously, I think the issue is one about the transparency of the contract. Could you provide the Parliament with your confidence that the due diligence process that was entered into by SQA regarding 2012 and 2011 contracts with the Bahrain Government was absolutely something that you would support? Because I noticed at the weekend that the Scottish Government made a comment that you are in discussions with SQA about how processes and arrangement might be improved. Could you just expand on that?
Minister.
Well, again, I'm happy to provide information once those conversations have taken place with the SQA. These were very much decisions for the SQA, but I certainly would stand by Scotland's engagement educationally in a country like Bahrain, and I am more than happy to provide this chamber with information on what the SQA is doing. I do also, however, and I have to point out that quite aside from the members' government in the UK supporting and being involved in an arrangement of defence cooperation after the human rights abuses last year, it also approved a rather large sale of military hardware, and I won't embarrass the member by listing some of the items on that list.
Liz-Smith.
I am obviously aware of that too. I think the point is more about the questioning processes that go on when it comes to these contracts that are made. And there is concern, given that the Scottish Government was aware of some of these issues at the time, and it's really that process that I'm trying to get to the bottom of.
Minister.
Well, as I've already indicated, I'm more than happy to supply information about the conversation which the Government will have with the SQA. But I also have to reiterate the fact that the SQA has its own board and is an arm's length organisation, but that I am more than happy to provide detail on the discussions that we're having between the two organisations.
Richard Simpson.
Presiding Officer, I won't enter into the debate as to whether the UK Government has behaved better in respect of what's happening in Bahrain or the Scottish Government. What I'd like to ask the Minister, however, is whether he will question the SQA to ensure that any contract and any arrangements between SQA and the Bahraini Government ensures that there is no suppression of any ethnic group within that country in respect of those issues in which the SQA is providing material or support.
Minister.
I have been accused of many things. I have never so far been accused of being complicit in the suppression of an ethnic group. And I would ask the member to consider the tenor of what he's just said. But as I've already indicated, the Government will provide information to this Chamber about the conversations taking place about the nature of all contracts with all countries. And I would reiterate that the SQA's engagement around the world is beneficial to the people of many countries around the world and to Scotland.